some of the truck technology and the rules in the last 10 years and some of the stuff that has really drastically changed this trucking industry. And there's a lot of emissions laws nowadays, and California is, a driving factor in a lot of the, rules and stuff in place here in the trucking industry. And y'all have some, more stringent restrictions and some, standards that have to be met. Um, Out of California, what has, what out in California with some of the laws and stuff, how much has that really changed the trucking industry out in that area of the country? Erica, we'll start with you.
I think it's changed tremendously. I mean, all this started back in '07. We call it '07 emissions when it all started. It's changed the way that the driver, sees the truck. When it first started, we went from more of a mechanical feature into the electric part of it, right? The software to be able to read all these components. Um, I think that it was the transition itself was really hard for truck drivers, going from one end to the other, and then it being mandatory. That was the other thing. It wasn't an option back then. There was a deadline that needed to be met, and it was mandatory, and so it was having to maybe reteach, I guess you can say, maybe these drivers that have been doing this for a very long time, maybe set in their ways, going to this new technology and being able to understand, how it worked and why the trucks have it now.
Pat, same question.
Well, I think the most important thing that happened in California was they mandated that trucks without this equipment on it, the after treatment systems, had to be off the road, but in a certain amount of time, and that was a first for any type of a vehicle or any type of equipment. The federal government fell in and adopted the same mandates, but they didn't remove trucks from the road. Other states still allow trucks without diesel particulate filters or without SCR systems to operate. But in California, what was it? 2021, Erica, is when they were all removed this year.
So the end of 22, which is next year, that's really where every single truck has to be under the SCR. The DEF is a requirement by then. The other thing that California has done is that it's kind of tied it into your registration. So there's a lot of customers already receiving notices saying that you're no longer allowed to register this vehicle because it's expiring. So it's definitely mandatory. And like Pat said, it's a California thing. I mean, there are some states where you can still run without that system, but
Mhm.
slowly but surely, they're not manufacturing trucks any other way. So it's trickling down to every other state.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys sell a lot of trucks out there in California. So a lot of these, restrictions that are established by one of the biggest states, maybe is it the biggest state in the United States? If it's not, it's one of them, and there's such a high populace and so it affects everything all the way down. You're absolutely right.